guys, it's Cheryl Sapero. I wanted to show you, this is the Siesta wrap that is part of our Throwback Thursdays. This, along with the strawberry gingham wrap, is available today, July 9th, through July 13th, Monday. After that, it will retire again. This wrap was available about a year ago, so Jamberry has brought it back for our fun Throwback Thursdays that we've been having. And I wanted to show you, isn't this beautiful? It's got some orangey red coral color, some watermelon hot pink, it has some brick deep red, 3 different color greens, and some white. And it matches several different nail wraps and lacquers. I mean, there's so many combinations that you can mix and match. I wanted to show you a little bit today about how to apply a nail wrap. I have my basic materials in front of me. I just wanted to show you some very simple tips and tricks that you can do. First of all, I've already cut one off the sheet to show you, but the sheet is bendable. You see how it's flexible? So you're able to put a wrap over your finger and see if it fits. Well, obviously that's not going to fit because you see all the excess that I have. And please, my skin is very dry right now because the first thing you want to do before you put on your nail wraps is wash your hands with Dawn or some sort of soap that takes the grease off. You don't want to use anything that has a lotion in it. Okay? The wraps, these larger ones, are generally used for pedicures. People use this for their toes. Maybe cut it in half and put on the big toe and then cut this in strips for the little toes. But if you don't want to use it for a pedicure, what you can do, use some of your smaller wraps as a template on the back, put the wrap and just trace over it with a marker or pen, and you're able to get 3 or 4 wraps out of these that will cover your fingers, okay? So don't think of these as, just pedicure. You can use them also for your manicures. So now that we're looking at the sheet, it's bendable, it's flexible, and how I size it, this is how I do it. Because it's clear, I can put it to the edge of my nail and kind of bend, let me hold it in place, got it right there to the edge, and bend it and roll it and see it's going to come over to this edge, so I know that that's going to be a good fit, okay? It's going to cover the nail. The other thing is when doing your thumb, if you can see, this part of your cuticle is pretty straight. It's not a round as the rest of your fingers are more rounded, okay? So it's not, you see how this is very round, obviously. This one is more straight. So sometimes when we apply our thumb wrap, we end up with a corner that's not covered. And I'm going to show you how to avoid that, okay? So what I did first was wash my hands, like I said, with Dawn dish soap. Seems to be the best, and everybody pretty much has it on hand. Do not go back and forth with your nail, with your file. You want to go gently in the direction that the nail grows. So you want to go in one direction. If you need to go back and forth like this, you can, but always go in the direction the nail grows, okay? Then, can you see this nail right here? I seem to have more of it on this finger. You see this little bit of skin, or we call it invisible cuticle, right there on the nail? That's going to make the wrap not apply as well. So what I'm going to want to do there is I use a metal cuticle spoon. I gently push back my cuticles. You're not doing this roughly, okay? And what I do is when I'm washing my hands and they're damp, sometimes I push them back so they, on a regular basis, are getting pushed back. You don't want to be rough with them. Then I take the metal cuticle spoon and I just kind of gently go over that little area where there's that skin, okay, that invisible cuticle. Then again with my buffer, I'm going to do it off camera because it's hard to wrap around the camera and buff, but I'm going in one direction gently, and now you can see with just a couple swipes beginning to get a smoother surface there, okay? So I will continue to remove that to get it all perfectly smooth, okay? I'm just going to do my thumb real quickly because that's the wrap that I'm going to show you. So again, off camera, I'm just going to do this real quickly so you can see I'm going in one direction the way the nail grows. All right. Then I've got one of my Jamberry alcohol nail prep wipes. You can use whatever alcohol wipes that you may have or alcohol that you have on hand at home. And just wash these off with that. Now, what I do is, this is the wrap that I cut. I have trimmed the bottom off with my scissors so that there's a flatter surface, okay? A very small sliver that I take off of there. And then I'm going to use the tweezer, lift this off of the backing. Now, if you touch the backing with your fingers, even as dry as my fingers are from the soap, it's going to get oil from your skin on the back, and that's obviously adhesive and is not going to stick as well when it has oil. So I'm just going to take this, let me see if I bring my camera, the heater onto the camera frame here. If you can see this. Can you see? There's my heater. My little cute purple Jamberry heater. See? Right here. And I'm just going to hold this over the heat for just a few seconds so it warms up. Okay, so let's see if you can see this. It'll start to get soft and bend in just a few seconds. You'll start to see. What I like about the heater instead of the blow dryer is you see how gentle the breeze is. It's not blowing the wrap all over the place where it's going to fold upon itself. Okay, all right. Now you see how it's getting this little bend to it? See how it's soft? You can see that. See how it's getting more soft. You don't want to melt it to where it shrivels up, or for just a few seconds. Okay, so let's remove my heater from the frame. And what I do is I take the corner, very tip of the nail wrap. I'm not touching the part that's going to go on my finger because that, again, would put oils on it. And I put it against the cuticle but not touching. You see right here. And normally I don't have a camera in front of me so I can actually see what I'm doing more. And I just kind of press it down a little. Okay. And I just gently push it back and forth to get it started to get onto the finger. Okay. And then I tug it into place. I actually pull it pretty firmly. Okay, you want to pull it. And then I'm going to heat it up a little bit more and heat it again. Put it up in the heater. Stretch it into place a little more. And then what I'm going to do is I use the Jamberry cuticle pusher to be sure that the edges are sealed. You see this? Make sure the edges are sealed. And then I'm going to clip it. Okay. Just clip a little bit of the nail with the wrap, gently. Okay. And I'm going to file this little corner right here. I like a little rounder nail. Some people like them straight edge. I like them a little rounder. Always want to file in this direction. If you go this way, you could get grit from the file under your nail, and that's obviously not going to help it seal well. So I just get the sides. I like to file it after the wrap is on. Okay. And like I said, I'm normally not working with the camera in front of me, so we get maybe a little straighter application. And I can just take, I'm going to take off the camera again, take the file and just kind of get the side there, because I like it a little rounded. Okay. Now, what I've been hearing lately from people is that their wraps are lifting at the tips. A couple things I want to address about that. Number one, do not use your nails as a tool to scrape and pick out staples. If you're doing delicate work with string or hair, or you're doing different things, you're going to begin to lift that seal, okay? Do you see how I've got that on there, though? Do you see how the straight bottom, what I was talking about, how that fits so much better? Yes, I have a little gap there. I probably could have gotten it on a little bit straighter, but like I said, we have the camera in front of me. And honestly, if anybody walks up to my hands, they're not going to see that. It's, you know, your skin covers that, and it's going to look great. I've never had anyone say, oh, your application's sloppy or crooked. They've always said, wow, your nails are gorgeous. And as you can see, this one has been on for 10 days. And you can see there's a little bit. You want to have a little bit of your natural nail showing. Okay? But you see how the tips of mine are not lifted off? I have a good seal all the way around, even though these have been on for 10 days. Okay? You see there's a little natural nail that's going to show because you don't want it to touch your skin. You can see this one's getting a little lift there after 10 days. If I wanted to, I could take my little cuticle pusher, reheat this. You see that there, that one little crease? And it's just started because they've been on for 10 days. And I could re-warm it and just kind of work this little pusher in there. Use the harder side if you need to. You see how I've already, without heat, I've almost smoothed it out? You see? So you can heat it and re-smooth it out. But it's time for me to change these. I've had them on for 10 days, and I usually get about 2 weeks out of them. You can see the other ones are all perfect, okay? See, there's a little gap, but nobody notices that. When they see pictures of my nails, they say, wow, your nails are great. And they see me in person, they grab my hand and say, I love your nails. Where do you get them done? And I say, I do them at home for $3, and people don't believe me. So basically, that's how I get the wrap on. Now, with the lifting of the tips that we had talked about, some people are getting lifting of the tips. I think a lot of it is from using your fingers as a tool. Don't use your fingernails as tools. Get a screwdriver, get a scraper, get something. The other thing is, we talked about filing. You can file with a large grit file like this on this direction, a 90-degree angle, okay? And that's going to put a nice edge to it. But by stretching it like I did, it starts to come back just a little bit where you have a little sliver of nail. See right here, there's a little sliver of nail that the wrap is not covered. And I achieve that by stretching it, and then when it cools and it kind of shrinks back, my wrap is a tiny bit shorter than my nail. You can also take your buffer or a glass file. You can buy a glass file at the nail supply store, beauty supply, and you can a 45-degree angle, and that's going to keep the wrap a little shorter than your natural nail. You see how it's just a little shorter, the wrap? I didn't take a lot off, and that's going to prevent it from whenever I use the tip of my finger, you scratch yourself or something, every time you go like this, you're going to start to lift the wrap. So by making the edge of the tip a little shorter, like this, you see, you're going to be able to get a better seal, and it's not going to lift. So that's it, ladies. I know this video was a little lengthy, but I wanted to address those things with you. Of course, in a few hours, I try to wait as long as possible, but I'm going to put my Jamberry cuticle oil on, I'm going to put my Nourish hand lotion on, and I'm going to get this dry skin to go away. But this is the basic application. You simply size it, you do your nail prep, you size it, you place it on, you apply the heat, stretch it, apply the heat again, clip it or file it, and then at a 45-degree angle, remove that little bit of an edge, and I think you're going to find less lifting at the tip. There are other methods and tips and tricks I won't go into at this time, but you can check with your consultant, or if you have any questions, you can comment below. Thank you, ladies, and I hope that you'll take advantage of getting this beautiful siesta wrap. It is available through Monday, July 13th. Thank you, ladies.